So today we are going to be focusing on top-down analysis. So remember, on our previous lesson we learned about trend lines, combining them with order blocks, the breakout and retest. So I'm very sure that you now understand if you have been studying. So today we are going to focus on the top-down analysis, what you need to know every time you open your chart, every time you're about to take your trade. So when we talk about a top-down analysis, we're basically saying that you start analyzing your trade or your chart from a higher time frame. You can start analyzing it from a daily time frame, or you can start from a weekly time frame going down to a daily 4-hour time frame, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 15 and 5-minute time frame. So the higher time frame helps you to know the long-term trend. If the daily chart is saying that the market is going to sell, then you should know that that sale is going to last for a week or more. If a weekly chart is telling you that it's a buy, then that buy is going to last for at least a month or even more, up to 6 months sometimes. So the bigger the time frame, the further or the more the time that you hold your trade for, is it? So the higher time frame just helps us to know the direction of the market in the long run, and then we use the smaller time frames to enter our setups, right? Okay, so let's take for instance the daily chart was moving like this, right, which is a buy, right? And then this is your trend line, and then it happens to come down and break the trend line and also break this low here. It means we are anticipating a sell, is it? But then for you to sell, you have to wait for it to come around this area and do a retest on the trend line, at the same time combining it with the order block that will be here, an area of interest or an institutional level that will be here, and then you sell like this, right? But then since this will be a daily chart, it will take very long. Do you know that if the market is here on a daily time frame, for it to get here where you have to sell, you have to wait for months or even weeks for it to get to this point. But then we cannot wait for that. If you go to lower time frames, you can see a lot of buy setups here at the lower time frame that you can take whilst you are waiting for this major big sale that is going to happen on a daily chart. So this same setup is there on a 1-hour time frame. You look for the same setup on a 4-hour, on a 5-minute, or even on a 1-minute time frame. You find the same things. Okay, so now let's move on to a real chart so that we can do a proper top-down analysis. I want this lesson to be as short as possible. Okay, let's start from here. So this is a daily time frame. This is volatility 25 index, right? So from this daily time frame we can see that this was our trend line. The market came down and broke the trend line here. So from this area where it broke the trend line, we are now waiting for a retest on the trend line or on the order block to then sell. Now it came all the way up here and it reached this order block of around here. there's this order block over here, this one. So I highlighted it in gray. So if you come this side, you realize that over here they just pinned that area of interest, the order block, and then they started selling, right? Here there's this trend line also that I put down here. So I'm expecting V25 to come all the way and break this trend line, retest, and then continue going down if it's a sell, right? Now, since this is a daily time frame, when did this break of trend line happen? It happened on the 31st of December 2023. Check down here. And then when did this retest happen? 14th of April 2024. So are you telling me that you'll be waiting for this trade for 4 months? I doubt that, right? But from here all the way to this, if you go on a lower time frame, you are able to see a lot of setups that you are going to take sales on. And then from here, as the market was going up, there are a lot of trades that you are going to take. And then the moment the market reaches this point, this is another sell that you can take. And if you once you take a sell here, your take profit, remember I say that you always take your profits on the next high or on the previous low. So here, where is our previous low? This is our previous low. So from here to here, it will take almost, okay, from here, this was on the 13th of April. The market, it's now here on the 28th of April. So how long will it take for it to get to this point? It will take longer, right? So as you can see that the higher time frame just helps us to know the market direction, to have a picture of where the market is going. But if we want to have proper market entries, then we dial down to a lower time frame. Let's go down to a 4-hour chart and see what we have. As you can see here, I highlighted these order blocks here. This is an H4 order block, right? This is a D1 order block. This is an H4 order block, and this is another H4 order block. So let's go to an H4 time frame, 4-hour time frame, and see what happens there. Okay, so here is our 4-hour time frame. So remember that daily order block, this one, the huge one, where the market reached. So the moment the market reached on this time frame, on this order block for a sell, the 4-hour time frame also created other setups that you could have taken. So here there is a trade if you check. So let's put our trend line from here to here, right? So the market was going up, and then it got to our area of interest on a daily time frame. It came down and it broke the trend line. It came here to retest on a trend line. You could have sold here all the way down here. This is money. You could have sold all the way down here, right? I hope this makes sense. Now this is another candlestick. This is another order block over here. So my anticipation is that the market will come all the way up to this point, and then start selling again, right? This is my analysis. Always be open that your analysis may happen or may not happen, but I think you get the sense of top-down analysis, right? So now let's move on. Okay, so now this is a 1-hour time frame, right? So on our on an hourly time frame, let me do this so that you can see where we came from. Now remember that 4-hour order block, right? And then remember this daily order block on top there, this one. So on a 1-hour time frame, we are going to sell all the way here, But as you are selling here, as the market retraces and goes up, you can also buy again on lower time frames, right? Okay, so now what do I mean by that? Check this out. So remember, there is this 4-hour order block that I will be expecting the market to come here and start selling all the way down here, right? But before the market reaches this point, will I be waiting, or I will look for other setups on smaller time frames? I'll be looking for other setups. Now look at this area. So the market is going up in this channel, right? So I can put my trend line there, and then the market broke here. The market broke the trend line here. It came down here to retest, it went down, and then it came also to retest on this order block. You could have sold here, came down, you could have taken your profits down here, and then here the market is also going up again. As you can see, the market is going up. So once the market, I expect the market to continue going up like this. Let me show you. To continue going up like this. And then eventually it's going to reach this point and then do this. I hope this is clear. So this is how the market moves. So the moment it breaks this channel, you wait for a retest and you sell. This is a 1-hour time frame. It retested on a 4-hour order block. So you see how you use the time frames, the higher time frames, framing setups from a higher time frame and making your entries on a lower time frame. So here you used this gray area, which is an order block on a 4-hour time frame, but this setup is happening on a daily time, on a week, on an hourly time frame, right? So even if around here there are buy setups that you can find, let's try to look for other buy setups here. If you dial down to lower time frames, if you go to a 5-minute time frame, you can find the same thing. You can also find these things, right? Okay, so I want to use this area for a buy setup. So you can use this high and this high to just draw a trend line like this, right? So the market came here, went down, came here, went down, came here and broke the trend line. Immediately here it did a retest, and then you could have bought here. You could have bought over here and your take profit could have been just above this high. This will be a short trade, right? You won't hold this for too long. So you should also know trade management. So I'm going to create another lesson on how you can manage your trade, so that you cannot, if you enter a trade and you realize that you are in profit, you have to take your profits. Make sure that you do not take back the money that you have made by being greedy and thinking, let me hold it more. So all these setups, they are always there in the market. Just make sure you study and you can find them. So guys, if you are interested in trading volatility indices, they are so easy to trade with these trend line strategies. They respect trend lines, as you can see the proof here. So if you are interested in trading volatility indices, open your trading account with Deriv. So the link is in the description. You can check the link in the description and make sure you open your account. See you in the next video, guys. Cheers.